Welcome to the Fantasy Football Profit Podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprofit.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome, everyone, to the Fantasy Football Profit Podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey. And tonight we're talking Baltimore Ravens, Miami Dolphins, Thursday Night Football. And just as we suspected, the Dolphins win 22-10. Man, I don't understand the NFL sometimes. I mean, we get this result tonight. Last weekend, we had the Jags beating the Bills. We had the Broncos destroying the Cowboys. You just never know. But I guess you could look back and see the Ravens they were 6-2, but they've had to add some comebacks to do that. They almost lost to the Lions. Maybe they weren't a dominant 6-2, but tonight was ugly for them. But yeah, I'm going to talk about the Ravens here because honestly, the Dolphins fantasy side of things isn't even that interesting, even in a win. But for the Ravens, Lamar, who's been playing great this year, he goes 26-43, 238 yards, touchdown, threw a pick to end the game. That's actually a big swing there at the end when it would have been a garbage touchdown, but still, that's an 8-point swing in fantasy matchups right there. -2 for that pick, could have been a touchdown. I had him, so I'm kind of.
Yeah, a lot of people had him ranked as possibly the number one quarterback going into this.
Great matchup. Yeah, he's been great. It's a great matchup. Should be an awesome day. And Miami was just doing things on defense. Like they were putting so many people up on that line and just going after him. Like they couldn't figure it out. The coverage wasn't great, like they kept saying on the broadcast, but they didn't have time. He didn't have time to find anybody. And so it didn't work out that way. He only had 39 on the ground. The ground game wasn't going either. 10 for 35 for Devontae Freeman was the main back. Le'Veon Bell 3 for 1. But it's just, I don't know. Miami just had a good game plan for it and it worked. Sometimes it just happens, on a short week. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Baltimore wasn't as prepared as they should have been. Just it didn't play out like they probably thought. But I guess bright spot for Baltimore, Rashad Bateman keeps looking like a good player. 6 for 80 today.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no one looked really good.
No, he's the only one. He keeps. I seen that little bit every time. Like 6 for 80, solid for a rookie.
Yeah, the same 3 every time, right? Mark Andrews, if you played him, he did have a pretty decent game for a tight end. 63 yards with 1 touchdown, 6 catches. Marquise Brown, disappointing, but they did throw it to him 13 times.
Targets are there. Yeah, it's just the way the game played out. It just didn't work. But targets are there. That's what you like to see. In that regard, just I don't know. You know what? I wouldn't worry too much about this game. It's just one of those games. It happens. It happens in the NFL. It's the way the NFL works, right?
Yeah, it's happening more and more right now. For whatever reason, we're getting a little more into the dog days. I don't know if you just know each other that much better.
I mean,
I don't know. This I feel like this shouldn't have happened. Like I can make up reasons and whatnot, but I mean, I don't know. It was just blown coverages. They just looked bad.
Even there at
Miami,
the end.
Oh man. And Miami let them. I mean, they could have easily Baltimore could have easily taken this game.
Well, towards the end there, when they got that 60+ yard not touchdown, but play to Albert Wilson. Yeah. Just, I mean, you make a stop and you get the ball, like you're down 5, like you have a shot and they can't make a stop.
It's a simple play too. I mean, just.
No one seemed to have any idea.
And Tua was just staring at him.
No one even saw him. It was like the defense literally did not see him somehow. Yeah. Somebody missed an assignment. But all right. Miami side of things here. So Jacoby Brissett got the start, got hurt, but he could have came back. And at that point, Brian Flores just said, screw it. Tua's going in despite the injury. And it was the right move. He was better. He's better than Brissett. Jacoby Brissett's not that good. Tua's not anything special, I don't believe, but he's better than Jacoby Brissett. So Tua was 8 for 13, 158 when he got the shot, and he got the QB sneak for the touchdown there at the end. Helps you out. Myles Gaskin is a extremely average running back, maybe even below average, to be honest.
I don't know, that whopping 2.2 yards per carry.
He's just not good. He's not, but he has all the volume right now with the Dolphins. So I get why people put him in their lineup. You're hoping you get the week where he scores the touchdown or whatever, but he's not that good. He's had a lot of bad weeks for you this year. I don't know. I think we were right on Gaskin. We were wrong on James Robinson, as someone in the comments the other day on YouTube wanted us to admit. He was not happy with us. He said we weren't doing a favor to our listeners by not admitting that James Robinson is good.
I mean, I have no issue with that. I don't know if you're gonna go wholeheartedly into that.
No, I think we've been fine with that. But Myles Gaskin sucks.
I don't have. Yeah. I was gonna say I'm not gonna go to bat for Myles Gaskin. He's gonna have some good games or whatever. But James Robinson, I mean, my hate at least for him was definitely the ETN underrating him early on. Yeah, I don't have any issue with them giving him carries. I think he's a fine back. But yeah, we were wrong. We thought they were gonna shy away from him.
No, but we're right on Gaskin. But the rest of there's nothing else here. There's no fantasy value very much here. No, I mean, Mike Gesicki is usually the only one who has that, and he got no catches today. But 7 targets. Have you ever seen 7 targets and no catches? Have you seen that?
I have not.
Unreal.
Yeah.
But that shows to me how much of a fluke that is. You get 7 targets, you don't get a catch. That's such a fluky game. I wouldn't worry about it too much again. But I mean, not like Gesicki's been setting the world on fire either. So.
No, I mean tight end.
You're still playing. If he's your,
and you're kind of like fine.
if he's your tight end, you're probably not making a move elsewhere. I mean, where are you going? He's the guy for you yet. Albert Wilson, we said, had that 64-yard catch, so he ended up with a 4 for 87. So he had the most yardage. He also tied for the most catches with Isaiah Ford and Jalen Waddle. 4 for 61. Just not a lot there. Even though they won this, they got a defensive touchdown. Their defense played awesome. That's what this game was. Now they're 3-7. But
yeah, it's going to be a fun one to look at how this actually affects the week, though, because of the poor outing for Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
And really, like you said, Gesicki didn't do anything either. Really, really bad for him. Devontae Freeman, if you threw him in your lineup, thinking that he might be the only show in town, he didn't do anything. So. Unless you put Mark Andrews out there, he's the only one that really performed in this whole game. It's kind of funny that way.
Mm-hmm. Except in PPR, I guess Rashad Bateman had 14 points in PPR if you're playing.
Yeah. He had a solid outing.
Yep. I guess Lamar with the late touchdown didn't end up killing you. It ended up being, it was more respectable. It's not what you want, but at least it's not going to that last touchdown would have been great. But
yeah, that would have pulled him out of it. But still, he's not going to be a top 10 guy, let alone, a top 2, whichever
needed that touchdown. But all right, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
We do have to talk though about the big signing today in the NFL, and that's Odell Beckham signing with the Rams. So the rich get richer. I mean, they had just added Von Miller. Now they add Odell Beckham. Fantasy wise, what's this mean though is really the key here. I can't. You wouldn't think it's going to hurt Stafford, right? It should be good for Stafford. Yeah. You would sure hope so. But Odell is an interesting case these days. I mean, it didn't seem to. Baker Mayfield wasn't helped by Odell on the field, so I don't think that's the case here. That was just an odd. I don't know. Who knows what happened in Cleveland? Yeah. It should help Stafford. There's no doubt. It's not going to hurt Stafford. If anything, it's to help him. I don't know what it means for the rest of the team. I just can't see it affecting Cooper Kupp in a negative way whatsoever. Cooper Kupp's been awesome. I can't see it affecting him. Maybe more goes to Odell than Robert Woods. Maybe Van Jefferson. Maybe he's more of an afterthought than he is. Now, he gets some work now, but maybe he's a little bit even further on the back burner now. I don't know. Like it's hard to say. I'm very interested in how Odell plays. I think he can be really good, but we don't know that. That's just, we're still thinking of Odell Beckham like from 4 or 5 years ago. We really haven't seen it in a long time. We just think we can think it's still there. And you know what? I don't think he's looked bad on the field. And I listen to some other podcasts of people that know football a little better than I do, like actual, what he's doing out there. And he's open. Like Chris Sims, I was listening to Chris Sims saying, he's getting open. Baker wasn't seeing him. And Stafford will find him if that's the case. So,
yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I'm kind of with you. I don't think it's going to hurt Kupp.
Yeah.
I could see it hurting the other two if he kind of comes out and he does well, because the thing about that is it's so public and it's such a big story that I do believe it's going to kind of take the shine away from other people, and people are going to be wanting, they're going to try to figure out a way to work him in there, because you don't bring someone like that in and not use him. He's not a washed up veteran yet. At least we don't think he is.
We don't think so. I don't
Yeah,
think
we
he
don't
is.
think so.
I really don't think he is.
So if he starts getting open and they start throwing these bombs to him, he's starting to look more like the old Odell. I could see this snowballing into something unique. I don't know what that means, as far as does this really improve LA that much? I don't really know that yet.
I don't know. I don't know if it can. How much more can it really?
And chemistry and
Mm-hmm.
everything that goes into it. Right now, Robert Woods doesn't seem like he's been having an issue, even though he's been outperformed by Cup. He doesn't really care. So I do wonder if they go in there and Odell doesn't get it together, and frankly would look embarrassing if he goes somewhere else and he couldn't perform. You do wonder if that is going to be at the detriment of the team. But overall, I just have this feeling that it's going to be a good move, that I think you're going to see him produce and pretty quickly.
Yep.
I think they're going to want to. I think they're going to have McVay is going to dial up a few plays for him right away. I think he's going to have some big games, honestly. But I don't know what that means as far as, do you, like week one, do you put him in?
I don't think I could. I don't think I could. No, I don't think. I think you got to wait. I think it'd be wait. Yeah, you just don't know. You don't know what it's going to be. But okay, you know what? Okay, I say that, but then I can see the scenario in my head where literally first drive they're looking to get Odell in right away, get him involved right away. You could see that happening. So you can see that scenario. It's a risky play.
Dialing up the big. If you think about it too, you have Cooper Kupp you have to worry about right away. The defenses don't. What do you watch for? Like, you don't know what to watch for, and in that, like he's never been on the team. He hasn't done well in 2 years.
Yeah.
He hasn't done anything. So I could see that being right away, being like, okay, we're going to fake something, we're do this crazy thing, and then we're going to get him one-on-one coverage, and let's just throw it up to him and see what he can do.
I could see it 100%. It's a risky play to play him, but there's a big reward possible if you do it. So it'd be interesting. And actually one other move we should talk about quick. Cam Newton signed back with the Panthers.
Good for him.
I'm actually
makes me feel good.
It does. For some reason, I was really happy to see that today.
That guy, I'll give him. He is. He was what, MVP? How many years ago?
6 years ago, yeah.
And he has taken his lumps, man. And I don't really think he's acted in a way that I'm just happy that he's gone. And I really hope that he does well. And I think this situation with McCaffrey, it really suits his skill set. And, I don't think that he has to run a lot, but I think he can be very productive in that offense. I'm really rooting for him. I think that Carolina has done the right thing, and I'm glad that he's kind of back home.
He's probably, I don't think he's going to get the start this week, but next week he's going to be the starter, and he's going to be the starter the rest of this year. Sam Darnold's done.
I think his career is done.
He's done. He's done.
Yeah.
He's a backup at best for the rest of his career. If that's the case.
He's going to be, people are going to look at, and that's I kind of feel bad for him. I feel good for Cam Newton. I don't think he's very good, but it does suck that you had your shot outside of it. It started so promising for like 3 games and then just completely went off the tracks to the point where I don't even think you're going to be looked at as a solid backup anymore. You're going to be looked at like, okay, like, will you take the pay cut? Will you go on, as the third QB, fight it out for the backup? It's going to be, it's a rough one for such a young guy still.
He got drafted ahead of Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson too. But Josh Rosen got drafted ahead of Lamar Jackson as well.
I was just saying, I want to make a joke, but Lamar looked like crap today. So no.
That's true. But Josh Allen has it. But we didn't know Josh Allen would be that good. But yeah, Cam, I'm happy for him. I think this is an awesome move. And he's only 32 years old. He can play. He might be able to play for a while yet.
We'll see.
It's possible.
He's never been a prolific thrower like these.
No, he hasn't. But I think he has more left. I think he has more left in the tank than what he was given credit for. I
was kind of hoping. I thought he was going to be a good fit in New England, and it just did not work out that way.
Yeah.
No one's really throwing a lot there. No QB is putting up a lot.
No, they didn't like. There was it just was an odd game plan with Cam. It didn't ever play out right. The last time Cam's been a full-time starter, he played 14 games in 2018 was the last time. He was QB 12 on the year with missing 2 games. He was still QB 12 in fantasy. 2017, he was QB 2. So
I mean, it was a very quick fall from grace, but
but it wasn't even that big of a fall
unique
from grace. In reality, when you look back at it, 2018, he's QB 12, misses 2 games, so he probably would have been top 10. And then he got hurt. That's it.
Yeah, but that's it. He's such a unique player.
He got hurt.
Where he's had years where he just was slinging the ball, but he was also running the ball. I do always wonder if that part of his game, if you take that, it's like anyone, right?
I mean, he had 12 rushing touchdowns last year.
Yeah, I mean,
12 rushing touchdowns.
But how many did he have thrown? Like,
well, they didn't do anything with that last year.
They tried to use him in that way. He just not quite as dynamic in an offense that was pretty stagnant.
He threw 24 touchdowns his last full season. So 20 in his last full season with Carolina, 24 touchdowns. He ran for 4.
Oh, Carolina. I was like, really?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say New
last
England.
Last year's just a different game. I don't even know what happened.
Even with that, we'll see what happens. But with McCaffrey, you can get a lot of easy yards, a lot of easy touchdowns, dumping it off to him. I think that will get him back on track. I just don't think he was himself in New England.
You know what? I'm on board with this. Cam, 2018, I'm looking back at these stats again. 2018, when he threw those 24 touchdown passes in 14 games, second most touchdown passes he ever threw in his career. I don't know where the fall off was, like what they were they really thought that fall off was happening. He was not that bad.
Well, what did he do when he came back from the injury?
He didn't come back. He went to New England.
I mean that's why, because
I
don't think they thought he was going to be the same, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they kind of like, okay, this is the end of the road for him. Most QBs don't make it past, running QBs, if you want to call him that, which he was, but he's very, very dominant running the ball. I wonder if they just said, no, I don't think that after 30, this guy can keep that up, because he was a big guy too. It wasn't like Lamar where, he can kind of get out of bounds or do whatever. He was running people over. He was taking a lot of abuse on that body for a while. I don't know. I'm really hoping to. I just think he's a fun guy to watch.
Yeah, I think he's sweet. I mean, even you look at his running last year, it's really not much of a fall off from his best. It's not as completely there, but it's not that far off. He's averaging 4.3 yards per carry instead of 5.4. So he's gone down a yard per carry on what he does, but I know it's going to be interesting. Let's see what he has left.
Well, the last thing I'll say, like, what does this do to everyone else on the team? Because
I think
everything for the last.
You know what? I don't even care. I don't think it can hurt no matter what Cam is. I'm not saying I know what Cam is. I don't.
No. 100%.
It can't hurt anybody. It won't hurt anybody.
I
really think it's going to help.
Will it help? Will it help DJ Moore? Will it help Robbie Anderson?
I don't know about Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson really can't be hurt by this, but Robbie Anderson can only go up. I honestly, truly think this is going to help everybody. It's really going to just improve everything. I really do.
I do wonder if Robbie Anderson will be playable with Cam. Like, I just wonder if, like,
we'll see,
because he was such a deep threat.
Yeah.
Has that changed? Was that Darnold? Because it felt like there's no way he could have fell off. like no way Robbie Anderson could have been just useless like he was. I mean, I
feel like he has to improve
for the past how many years.
Yeah. McCaffrey had 107 catches in 2018 with Cam.
McCaffrey's bulletproof. I mean,
man, so he can play with Cam for sure. It's only going to help. So.
He's gonna, he makes every QB's life way easier.
Oh, it's gonna be. I'm really excited to see what it's gonna be. I hope it works. I don't know. I wasn't ever really a Cam guy before, but for some reason, I don't know. I am right now.
As good as he was and bringing Carolina to a Super Bowl, it would have been easy to probably like go against it. Like, oh, they're really good. Yeah. And I never disliked Cam.
No, I just feel like he's got a raw deal. I mean, he's only 32-year-old quarterback who really hasn't played that poorly. It's just last year in New England, I don't think it was the right fit. So I don't know. It seems like he should get an opportunity. I'm happy he's going to get it. So, but
the weirdest part too, I don't even remember who, like when he left, it wasn't like they brought anyone else in to take his place. I don't even remember.
Did they have Teddy Bridgewater? Did they bring in Teddy Bridgewater?
Oh, yeah. But still, really?
Like, they brought in Teddy Bridgewater.
But
you knew if you bring in Teddy Bridgewater to your team, you just hope for mediocrity. That's all you're hoping for. So
I'll have to go back. I can't remember why, like what happened to that relationship where they didn't want him back or didn't believe him.
Yeah,
I cannot remember right now.
No, I'm not right. I don't remember exactly now, but I think a lot of it, they thought he was, I don't think they believed him anymore. I thought he, 30-year-old running quarterback, it doesn't keep going. That's what they thought. But I don't know. I don't know if he
I don't know, but when you were talking about his numbers, I was like, maybe I'm remembering it wrong. You know what I mean? You're kind of like
They weren't that bad. Like 24 touchdowns, throwing the ball, 13 picks. You know, that's a normal Cam.
The wins losses definitely. They went from being one of the better teams to I have to look it up.
It wasn't even okay. And again, it wasn't even
500, and it wasn't necessarily his fault. But I think it was almost like a rebuilding mode for a moment because their defense got completely gutted.
You would think that, but they didn't really truly play it that way. And they go in when they get Bridgewater, like that's an odd move when you go get Teddy Bridgewater to, they were 7-9. Okay. This is what they were. So in 2015, they went 15-1. Cam was MVP, awesome. Right. Mm-hmm. They go 6-10 the very next year. Not bad, not a good year. They come back 2017, 11-5. They pretty solid. And then the next year they go 7-9, which wasn't great, but that's the NFL. Like that's pretty normal. Like this is what they've done. Go to 2013. 2013, they went 12-4. Then they went 7-8-1. Then they went 15-1. Then they went 6-10. They went 11-5. They went 7-9. That's what they've done. They were, up and down like that.
That's a very yo-yo. That's very strange to go from 15-1 and then down to only 6 wins because they must have just lost everyone on D. But I don't know how you bounce back so quickly off of that if you have to rebuild at all.
And they went right back to 11-5 the very next year with it.
It's hard, man. It is very difficult to recall.
They were Cam was so good.
Like
2015
5-6 years ago.
He was just so good in 2015. That was actually the biggest outlier. That was such an outlier for him, like in touchdown passes and all that. But
everything. And not only that, his rushing was out of control. He was every time around the goal line, he was running it in. He was a one-man wrecking machine in fantasy that year.
But it's a few years removed, so we'll see what he has left in him. I'm hoping for the best, so we'll see.
I can't wait to see what he wears to the first game either.
I know, right?
The crazier, the better, man.
All right, that'll do it for tonight. We'll be back Sunday night with a Week 10 recap. Talk to you guys then.